dancing waves floating downstream. This is how creation sings, here to be what we're meant to be. If one can see, we all can see, forming our reality. This is how creation sings. This is how creation sings.
Welcome to Unity of the Valley Spiritual Center. We are a part of Unity Worldwide Ministries, and you can find us locally at 350 North Orchard Avenue here in Vacaville, California. If you are a first-time viewer or if you are returning to our broadcast, welcome home. We are so happy you are here. This happens to also be my second favorite place on the planet. Your soul is welcome here. Thanks for coming. Please click on this tile on our website at www.unityvacaville.org to fill out our welcome card, update your personal information, or seek more information about our programs. Unity of the Valley Spiritual Center is a loving spiritual community where everyone is accepted, no exceptions. Your soul is welcome here. If your heart's beating, we're happy to have you. Now let us begin this morning's service with a prayer from Reverend Dalia Adams.
Let us pray. Let us join our minds and our hearts, and let us know that we are one with each other, one with God. And let us join together in the intention to see the face of God in every person and in every situation, to see the face of God and to open our hearts in love and to allow that love to grow and move through us and allow us to bless all of those around us. We see this love of God enfolding all people who are facing challenges, who are grieving, who are healing. And we see this love of God as a source of strength, a source of healing. And for all of this, we are deeply grateful as we say thank you. Thank you, God. Amen.
Hi, welcome back. My name is Bobby Fortner, and I am your Essential Service Assistant this fourth Sunday of the month. And this is my absolute pleasure and happiness to be here in the sanctuary. Although I'm missing a lot of you and looking forward to when we can be together again. If you're online right now, wherever you are, we are all welcome here. So thank you for coming and joining us today. This morning, I want you to look at those near you and remember the truth about them, the truth about all of us, and repeat with me, you are a beautiful child of God, perfect in every way. You are loved unconditionally, just the way you are. And now the hard part for me. And I know you're all working on this with me, and I know it's so easy for me to see the Christ in you. I want you to look in the mirror and take this in for yourself this morning. I am a beautiful child of God, perfect in every way. I am loved unconditionally, just the way I am. Oh, our prayer chaplains. Did you know that they're just an email away? These beautiful souls are here with us 24/7, and you can email them at unityvv@pacbell.net and let them know you'd like to pray. The prayer chaplains are standing by, and they'll support your spiritual journey, and they'll listen confidentially and pray with you for any reason. Thank you, prayer chaplains. And now it's time for our announcements today. Our Valley Book Club will begin a 3-part series on Saturday, April 10th at 10:30 a.m., discussing See No Stranger, a memoir and manifesto of revolutionary love, written by Valerie Kaur. Please email unityvv@pacbell.net to register for the Zoom. And I would like to introduce now our Board of Trustees. This March, our board elected new officers. We have President Marilyn Ugaldi, Vice President Elliot Williams, Secretary Donovan Alquist, Treasurer Catherine Patterson, and members at large, Cindy Holbert, and myself, Bobby Fortner, and Reverend Dalia Adams. And our third announcement is that we have a prosperous living class, and it is taught by Reverend Dalia Adams on the classic spiritual prosperity teachings will be taught, by Reverend Dalia, and begin Tuesday, April 20th. And that's from 3 p.m. until 4:45 p.m. That class is going to continue for 6 weeks, ending Tuesday, May 25th. The books for the class are The Abundance Book by John Randolph Price and Prosperity's 10 Commandments by Georgiana Tree West. Invite your friends and remember to register by emailing unityvv@pacbell.net. Thank you for joining us today. Whether you choose to view the service online or choose to return to our building when our center reopens, you are a beloved part of our community, and we love and appreciate you. Thank you for supporting our broadcast and our center with your gift today. And now, as we center in this morning, let's take a deep breath and repeat the statement of faith together. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in our lives, God the Good.
There is so much beauty in the universe. There is so much healing going on. There is so much beauty in the universe. Oh, there is so much healing going on. There is so much peace in the universe. There is so much healing going on. There is so much peace in the universe. There is so much healing going on. Sometimes you gotta say what you feel. Sometimes you gotta dig what you know. There is so much love in the universe. There is so much healing going on. There is so much love in the universe. Oh, there is so much healing going on. Ooh, wisdom. So much wisdom in the universe. I see so much healing going on. Oh, there is so much wisdom in the universe. There is so much healing going on. We gotta help, they need help. You gotta get what you need. You gotta live what you live. So you become who you are. There is so much beauty in the universe. So much beauty, so much beauty, so much wisdom in the universe.
My name is Reverend Dalia Adams, and I am so honored to be here with you today. This is the year 2021, and we are focusing on transformation, that process of unfolding from one consciousness to a greater level of consciousness, that process of becoming all that we can be, a process that is challenging, but so rewarding. And the year 2021 is so appropriate for transformation because we were given so many challenges and changes in 2020 that are a springboard for the transformation process. It's also appropriate here at Unity of the Valley because our vision is a world powerfully transformed through shared spiritual awakening. We are also in the Christian season of Lent, and today is Palm Sunday, the last Sunday of the Lenten season. And during Lent, we release all of the things that block our awareness of God's presence, that block our awareness of who we truly are, that block our awareness of the presence of love. On Palm Sunday, according to the scriptures, Jesus entered the city with people honoring him and using palms to honor him. They saw the divine in Jesus. They recognized that divine spark, the Christ that he is, that he was. And then there were others who did not see the face of God in Jesus. And out of that evolved the passion story, the story of the death and the resurrection of Jesus. So we are focusing today on what it is we need to release in order to see that face of God, in order to experience the love that comes up when we see the face of God. Each day during Lent, we made a commitment to release one thing, one thought, or one feeling that blocks our awareness of love's presence. So today we will talk about what it means to glimpse the face of God. I mean, there are moments where we can truly see the face of God. We see the face of God in the sunrise or a beautiful sunset. We see the face of God in an infant who is smiling. We see the face of God in a person that we love dearly. And sometimes when we are in a really good space, we see the face of God when we look in the mirror. And when we see the face of God, there are no blocks to the awareness of love's presence. We know that God is love, and we experience love filling our experience, filling our universe, filling our very being. But then there are times when it's not a beautiful sunrise. There are times when challenges are happening. There are times when we are in situations, sometimes when our stomach goes into knots, maybe a little bit or maybe a lot. And in those moments, it's not easy to see the face of God. But we can at least try to glimpse that face of God. And once we glimpse the face of God, our consciousness begins to open so that we can see the face of God and become fully aware of love's presence. When I sit in meditation, sometimes what I experience are itches, aches, and pains, and a monkey mind going 1,000 miles an hour. But other times, either if I sit long enough or if I focus well enough, I go into a state of consciousness where I begin to experience the presence of God. And I see the face of God in that moment. And when I look at my world from that consciousness, I see the face of God in everyone and in all circumstances, even the difficult ones. But then there are other times when I really have to consciously work to glimpse the face of God in this situation. Just a brief story, actually, a couple of them. Day-to-day stuff. I ordered a book that I'm going to be using for a class at Unity of the Valley. And I ordered a hardcover copy of the book. I ordered a new copy, and it was $14 and change. And I received the book in a couple days, and I set it down on my shelf because I was busy. And then earlier this week, I received the book maybe 6-7 days ago. And maybe 3-4 days ago, I picked up the book to start working on it. And inside, someone had scribbled notes, had circled paragraphs, had done squiggly lines to underline sentences, which is all fine and good, except I do not write in my books. I never have. I find it distracting when I go back and I see all this writing. So I became immediately tensed up just a little bit. I didn't get things out of proportion, but I didn't like this. So I looked in my order summary that I had online because I thought, well, maybe I had made a mistake and ordered a used book. But I hadn't. I ordered a new book for $14 and change. But what they sent me was a used book for $32 and change. Now my slight upset became a little bit bigger. $32 and change for a book that had all this writing in it. I kept my cool. I took a couple nice breaths. I'm not even thinking about glimpsing God at this point. And I called up the company and I spoke with a customer service representative who was very polite and very nice, sounded very concerned, spent a little while with me on hold while she checked with whoever she needed to check with, and came back and said, I'm sorry, the only thing that we can do is have you return this book, and once we get the book, then we will refund you the money. Well, that doesn't work for me because I need this book to prepare a class, right? And so start getting a little tenser and a little bit upset with her. And I caught myself, and I said to her very nicely, well, could I speak with your supervisor? Thinking that someone with a little more authority might be able to help me. I spoke with the supervisor again, very polite, very nice, listened to what had happened. And the supervisor said, she said, well, we cannot, what I was asking for was a refund of the difference in the money. And that ultimately I could exchange the book for a new one. She said, listen, we'll just refund the money to you. Go ahead and keep the used book. If you want to order a new one later, that's fine. And I saw the face of God in this beautiful, wonderful supervisor who understood my concerns, brought justice out of chaos, divine order was prevailing. And not only did I glimpse the face of God, I could see the face of God in her. End of day-to-day experience, right? Within 24 hours, these two events happened about the same time. I went to a grocery store, and this grocery store often has, like many stores do, near the entrance, a display of their sale items. And I tend to check those out. And these beautiful, beautiful strawberries were on the table of display items. And there was a big sign, and it said strawberries, and it said 2 for $7. So 2 pounds, and they were organic. So 2 pounds of organic strawberries for $7. That was a really good sale. So I took my 2 pounds of strawberries, although I did not come to the store to buy strawberries. There were 2 items I came for, but this was a deal. So I got my strawberries and I got my other items. I came home, I was unpacking the groceries, and I looked at my receipt, and I was charged $3.99 for each container of strawberries. So instead of being charged $7, I was charged $7.98. Once again, I was indignant. 98 cents. I was overcharged, right? So I call up the store because they're going to make it right, like they usually do. And I got on the other end someone who worked at the store, a woman, and she could care less about my 98 cents. She was so, by her tone of voice, she sounded so unconcerned that I had been charged $7.98 instead of $7. In fact, she said to me, that I should have looked more closely because it was the other strawberries that were selling for $7. Although the strawberries I bought were on the big sale table that had a big sign that said 2 for 7. And I pointed out to her that it was not righteous what she was saying and doing, right? It did nothing to increase her concern about my 98 cents. And all of a sudden, I wasn't seeing the face of God in anybody. In anybody. I was really, really getting to a place where my body was all tense, my stomach was in knots. I was clearly cut off from the experience of love. I was not in the awareness of love's presence, and I was not getting my 98 cents back, right? And that's where that story ended. Nothing was resolved in my world. But I became very aware of what I had done with my own consciousness. I went from a consciousness of being aware of God's presence because, basically I was doing things throughout the day related to book studies and thinking about what I was going to talk about. So I went from that to shutting down and not feeling God's presence, blocking the awareness of love's presence because nobody cared about my 98 cents. I don't know if anybody here, anybody listening has ever experienced that, but I believe it happens to more people. Our teachings, on the other hand, in unity, are that we do see the face of God in everyone. We have a song by Karen Drucker that we have sung so many times, and the lyrics begin, "You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God." And we believe that. We believe in the truth of our oneness. We believe that each and every one of us is an expression of God, the face of God. And I remembered that hymn because it's one of my favorites. And I realized for that moment, I was not able to see the face of God. And then I reflected about how silly this was because there have been people I admire so much who have faced huge, huge challenges. And in the things they said and they have done and demonstrated, they clearly were able to see the face of God in situations that were so much bigger than losing 98 cents at the sale table for strawberries. Jesus hanging on the cross. One of the first things he has said, or is quoted as saying, is, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." So he was able to see in his enemies, in those that crucified him and betrayed him, he was able to see their innocence. He was able to stay open to a love for them, despite his circumstances, which were so much bigger than losing 98 cents over some strawberries. Nelson Mandela, another well-known leader who overcame circumstances and learned to keep his heart open, once said, "Love comes more naturally to the human heart than its opposite." He was talking about how easy it is to hate, how easy it is to close our hearts, to cut ourselves off from that experience of love. But despite everything, he spent 27 years in prison. Despite all of his experiences, he was able to teach that love still is more fundamental to our being than the hatred that seems so natural. Reverend Howard Thurman is a civil rights leader that often does not get enough credit, but he inspired Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Apparently, according to one story I heard, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. carried Reverend Thurman's book, Jesus and the Disinherited, that Martin Luther King carried that book everywhere he went, and it was an ongoing source of inspiration. In that book, Howard Thurman was writing about how we must see each person as an expression of God, as a child of God, and we must know our oneness even when we are facing persecution, even when there is social injustice, even when we feel betrayed, even when we feel attacked. And he was writing about, in the time of Jesus, how the tax collector was a hated person because he was one of the Jewish people, but he betrayed his people and aligned with the Romans and the Roman government. And he would take money from the Jewish people, and sometimes unfairly, and give it to the Romans. And the tax collector typically was very wealthy for doing this. So basically, he sold out. And what Reverend Thurman was teaching is we have those tax collectors in our own lives, people who we feel betrayed us, people who we feel sold out on what was important. And we must look at that person and know that this is not just a tax collector. This is a son of God. And so it was teachings like this that helped inspire Dr. Martin Luther King to one day say, I have a dream. And that dream wasn't that people of color would shatter the white people who had oppressed them. His dream was that white children and colored children would hold hands. So that ability to see the face of God, even when we have to start with a glimpse. Sometimes we can't see the fullness of that truth, but we can see a glimpse of God, or a glimpse of the face of God in the person before us, even when they are doing things that we don't like, that we don't approve of, we would consider not righteous, even when they are doing things that feel like a betrayal, an attack, or an injury. Jesus taught, love your enemies. Not always easy. Reverend Thurman also wrote, the movement of the Spirit of God in the hearts of men and women often calls them to act against the spirit of the times. The spirit of the times might be to fight back, or to polarize, or to hate. Instead, he says that the Spirit of God causes us to anticipate a spirit in the making. So we are called by the divine to create a new world, a new way of being, and move beyond the hatred, move beyond the polarization, whether it's a social justice movement, whether it's a political movement, or whether it's dealing with someone over 98 cents overcharge for strawberries. The West Central region of Unity Church has recently had a Zoom conference, and Members of our churches were invited, and some of us were there. And one of the sessions began with a talk by Valerie Kaur. And Valerie Kaur is a Sikh. She's a civil rights activist. She's a mother, an author, a lawyer, and many other things. She wrote a book called See No Stranger. And we'll be reading this book as part of our Valley Book Club fairly soon. It's fabulous. But in her own life, she had experienced and witnessed injustice of the kind that could close someone's heart. Instead, she followed the teachings of her religion. She followed the teachings of her grandfather, who is very spiritual. And she set out to recognize the oneness in all of us, in all people, even the ones who appear to be persecutors. After the Twin Towers were brought down on September 11th, the very first person who was killed in response to that was a Sikh, a man who was wearing a turban and was mistaken to be one of the people or one of the country of people who attacked the Twin Towers. The Sikhs have since then been mistakenly identified with Al Qaeda. They have been attacked. There was a Sikh temple in Wisconsin in 2015 that experienced a mass shooting. So in the face of all of that, Valerie set out to find a way to see the oneness in all of us. And she said that we need to begin with wonder. We need to begin with wonder according to what she taught. That moment when I was getting stuck in that non-loving stuff over those strawberries. According to what she teaches, if I would have paused to wonder, what kind of day was that employee having? If I would have paused to wonder if she drinks coffee in the morning, if I would have paused to wonder, does she like dogs? Does she have a dog? The moment I began to wonder, she would stop being the other, and there would be an opening for me to see her to be like me. And that's just a glimpse, a tiny glimpse of the face of God. Sometimes, though, whatever is going on inside of us somehow latches on. And even the skills we've been taught, wonder, or denials and affirmations, or breathing, any of these skills sometimes don't seem to be enough. And what Valerie Kaur says, we also need to pause and direct that wonder toward ourselves. And so I was reading Valerie Kaur the same day that the strawberry event and the book order event happened. And so I paused to wonder. I was reflecting on why whatever it was inside of me grabbed me so tightly over 98 cents. In my mind, I knew it didn't matter. In my mind, I knew that ultimately I wouldn't care. In my mind, I knew that what I was doing was so against the teachings I held so dear. But I paused to wonder, what was it that was grabbing me? And I sat and I listened to hear how I would respond. And what I told myself was I felt disregarded. I felt dissed. I felt disrespected. And that That was the piece, that was the hook. And when I began to wonder about that, all of that stuff softened. And I realized that there were times in my life where, in bigger ways, I felt disregarded or disrespected. And some of those old feelings were coming up. The psychologist in me got involved with this, right? And that those moments were not today. And they had nothing to do with the strawberries. So it became easy to wonder if that woman who I talked to over the phone was, well, maybe she was having a bad day. It was toward the end of the day. Maybe she was just tired. And I can relate to tired. So we begin with wonder, both about what's happening within us and what is happening for the other person. And it doesn't have to be related to the strawberries or to the book. It's like, I wonder if she would like a cup of tea right about now. Valerie said that the wonder began for her when she was very young and first realized the oneness that is the truth, the spiritual truth of all of us. And she wrote, the earth under me, the stars above me, the animals around me were all part of me. And wonder was my first orientation to them all, the thing that connected me to them. So in her it was a mystical experience she had. And in that experience, she was aware of the wonder. And she said that in those situations where she is faced with someone, that it feels challenging to her ability to wonder, to her ability to know the oneness that is the truth. She says to herself, you are a part of me I do not yet know. You are a part of me that I do not yet know. So when I look through the eyes of God, when I look through the consciousness that I sometimes find in meditation, when I look through the consciousness that I find when I can wonder, when I look through those eyes, when I look through the eyes of God, I see the face of God in myself and in you, and the blocks to love's presence disappear. And so we conclude our Lenten season, but we continue our commitment to each and every day release one block, one feeling, one experience, one thought, one block to the awareness of love's presence. And so it is.
As we enter this time of meditation, I invite you to become still. I invite you to take your favorite meditation posture and let the music of Narayan and Janet enter your heart. Fill your heart as we now center within.
And so we move more deeply into our time of meditation. As we do so, I invite you to sit comfortably. Allow your breath to come easily and effortlessly. Allow your breath to find its own natural and easy rhythm. Noticing each breath and remembering that each breath is the breath of life, the breath of God that moves through you in this very moment. Notice how your breath feels when you breathe in and when you breathe out. Notice how your breath takes you deeper within, deep into that sacred space within you, that sacred space where you feel the infinite love that is God. Allow yourself to open to love's presence. Allow yourself to feel love filling your heart, filling your whole being to overflowing. Allow yourself to feel the infinite love that is God enfolding you, upholding you, moving through you. And quietly set the intention to always and in every moment be open to the awareness of love's presence. And for a few moments, in the silence, simply be in the awareness of love's presence. In the awareness of love's presence, I see the face of God. I see the face of God in me and in you. I look at you and I know that you are a part of me that I do not yet know. You are the face of God. Holding these affirmations in your heart, allow yourself to gently and easily bring your attention back to this room, back to this time and place. Take a nice deep breath, allow yourself to be fully present, and then join with me in saying, thank you. Thank you, God. Amen.
It is the time in our service now where we stop to give gratitude for our prosperity and abundance. It is time to remember that we are in a wonderful flow of giving and receiving. We joyfully give our tithes to Unity of the Valley Spiritual Center as we state together, God's love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am and have, all that I give and receive. I am grateful.
I just wanna thank you for all you bring to me. I just wanna thank you. Your love has set me free. I just wanna thank you for all you bring to me. I just wanna thank you. Your love has set me free. I just wanna thank you for all you bring to me. I just wanna thank you. Your love has set me free.
And now please join me in giving thanks for the increasing constant flow of absolute good in our lives by stating, the inexhaustible resource of spirit is equal to every demand. There is no reality in lack. Our abundance is here and now manifest. And now it's time for the singing of our peace song.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Now we walk with each other in perfect harmony. Now peace begins with me. Yes, this is the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment, live each moment, peace eternally. Now there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me.
And in closing today, please join me in our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. We are one holy family. We celebrate our oneness and honor our diversity.
As we bring our spiritual experience, our shared spiritual experience, this service to a close, let us join in our closing affirmation. I invite you also to hold this affirmation in your hearts, repeat it to yourselves throughout the week. So our affirmation is, I see the face of God. Again, I see the face of God. And so it is.
I want to say thank you to Reverend Dalia for her beautiful message this morning. And thank you all for joining us today. And so until next time, let me begin with the waving of the hellos.
In a happy mood.
There we go.
Feeling gratitude. Thank you. Thank you. Gratitude is my name. Feeling grateful is my game. Thank you. Thank you. When I lift my head up, stop complaining. I see everything through gratitude-colored glasses, and we're all in this great big sea of bliss. And thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Hi there. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Wave.
Oh, tell me about it.
Yeah.
Say hi, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
How are you?
How are you? I'm fine.
We miss you.
Miss
We
you.
miss you.
Miss you.
We think about you.
Think about you.
We hold you in our
Watch
hearts.
your hearts.
And we'll see you soon.
Too soon.
See you soon.
I'm
too
in
soon.
a
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Guys.
feeling gratitude.
Yes, you are.
Thank you. Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Gratitude is my name. Feeling grateful is my game. Thank you. Thank you. When I lift my head up and stop complaining,
I feel everything through gratitude-colored glasses, and we're all in this great big sea of bliss. Thank you.
well, thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
In a happy mood, feeling gratitude. Thank you. Thank you.
Gratitude is my name. Feeling grateful is my game. Thank you. Thank you.
When I lift my head up, stop complaining.
I see everything through gratitude-colored glasses, and we're all in this great big sea of bliss.